I'm Joe with Fix Build Send, and today we're going to install an auto dimming rearview mirror into my 99 XJ. Let's get after it. This is the kit I got off eBay. This is a Gentex 177 auto dimming rearview mirror with temperature and compass display. It came with the wiring harness that attaches to the mirror itself, a neat little cover for it. This is the temperature sensor itself. However, the Jeep XJ, all XJs came with temperature sensors from the factory, so I won't be utilizing this. We'll tap into the existing wiring and use the existing temperature sensor that's there, and it came with a few splices and odds and ends. It also came with instructions on how to install this, but I will refer to it if required. So kind of step one for this is to remove the headliner so that you have access to route the wires from up where the mirror will be and then down the A-pillar. So I'm gonna get after it. I think there's enough videos on YouTube where you guys can look at it, but if I have anything, I don't know, different that I do, I'll let you know. Alright, so now that the headliner's out, the rest of everything is going to be up here. So we're going to route the wires up here. We can route them along here, make them look all nice and pretty, and then we'll run them behind this A-pillar. So I got to figure out how to get this out of here real quick. I've never done that before, but it shouldn't be too hard. We'll see. So right now I'm going to take off the old mirror. We'll route the wires around, then we'll figure out power and ground. And I also figured out that I made a mistake yesterday when I said that all Jeeps had a temperature sensor. They don't have the temperature sensor, but they have the wiring for the temperature sensor. Let me grab a light real quick. So while I won't be able to use the factory temperature sensor, all I have to do is use the factory wiring, and I'll splice in the temperature sensor that came with the kit. So if you look up under here, under your front bumper, there's this wiring loom here, and on the end of it, oh god, let me get the better flashlight. All right, so up under here, right up under your front bumper, there is this wiring harness, and this wiring harness has a connector on the end of it, and that is the factory temperature sensor. So all I'm going to do is tap a new screw in the back here and leave the temperature sensor and use the existing wiring. So I'll cut this connector off, use the connector that came with the new temperature sensor, and use the existing wiring. So first thing we'll do is figure out how to mount this new mirror and get this old one off of here. So easy pass gone. And there's one screw under here. It is a T20. So we'll get the T20 out of the way, and then just slides right off. Hopefully mounting the new one is just as simple. Would you look at that? Let's see if the holes line up. Oh, it's just a set screw. Oh, that's easy then. Hey, there it goes. Set screw in. Wow, that's the easiest thing so far. So, I'll bring you over here. Big difference in mirrors. At least the old mirror. So it's not too much wider, but I like it. Wanted to give a good close-up on the connector that we're going after. It is this one right here. So I'll pull it out of there too so you can get a good look at it, but it's this nice big one. It's free, unplug it, okay. These wires come down. There we go, so here's our top wiring harness. This is coming from right here. So which ones do we need and which ones don't we need, and what can I splice and what can't I splice? Hold on, I'm an idiot. This is going to my light. All right, back to the original plan. All right, so I've got a breakdown of this connector's wiring and what it should be, and I'm just gonna hit the I believe button and go in here and start cutting and splicing and hoping that it works out. And if it doesn't, then I'll come back and I'll read powers and grounds and figure out everything that I probably did wrong. But for now, I'm gonna hit the I believe button and we will hope this thing works out. If it doesn't, we'll dig in deeper. Oh, I'm bypassing this connector. So there's a few different ways you could have done this. This one has blank slots, and if you notice here, there are more wires in the exit than there are in the entrance, and that's because this would route power up to what the factory temp sensor would be. So this one's blank since it didn't come with it. What I could do is go to a junkyard and I could cut this exact connector out from a XJ that had that from the factory, or I could just go get another white connector and then I could de-pin the individual connectors, and then I would solder, or you'd have to solder them in and whatever else, right? But you could splice in those things so that this connector would still be functional. I personally am too lazy to do all that, and I'm just going to forego having this connector. If for some reason in the future I ever need to have this connector again, well, you know what I mean, I'll just have to cut and re-splice. But at the end of the day, I don't think I've ever taken this connector apart before. I didn't even know it existed. So hopefully I never have to take it apart again. And if we do, it's a cut and splice. So. Go do the temp sensor. All right, sorry for the terrible lighting, but I'm not really gonna be down here that long, so hopefully. Alright, so here I only need the connector. And then I'll splice the connector into the existing wiring. I wish I had some good heat shrink and environmental splices and we can do this upright, but I don't. So I'm just gonna do these regular butt splices that I did up top, and we'll put a bunch of electrical tape and try and protect it as best we can. All right, so everything's plugged up. Put the key in there, turned it on. we've got 61 degrees, which I think is fair enough. And then if I turn compass on there, it says south, which, let me check off my phone real quick. My phone says we're more of west, so that probably needs a little calibration, which again, there's procedures in there. I guess I'll take a look at that. But let's be real, I bought it for the temperature anyway. So temperature seems spot on. And then if I shine this light in here, the mirror dims. And then we do this, and it should come back. Boom, comes back. It's an auto dim and rear view mirror, my friends. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna button everything back up now that we know everything works. I'll start installing the, I'll start putting all the wires back up. I'll mount the temperature sensor underneath, and then it's just reassembly of all the panels after that. It's pretty simple, but I'll leave the camera on, I'll time lapse stuff, so thanks. So I'm back under here. I'm about to put electrical tape on here, but I figure a point that I should probably look at is how to mount this. I just have a self tapper with a little washer. It's gonna fit in there fine. I just need to find a little spot to put it in. I'll show you what I'm talking about. And hopefully I can get this around front to thread it. Alright, so everything's back together. It is on, displaying, proper time. Everything looks great. I mean, I couldn't ask for more. Still says south. I'll put a link in the description about how to calibrate and all this other stuff. I found there's different time zones, and well, not really time zones, but magnetic deviation times or magnetic deviation zones. So I'll go ahead and I'll put that in the description. It's really easy to set up. But yeah, thanks for watching. It was a fun one.